By the Nine Divines, it's Star Trek Nemesis Day. Star Trek Nemesis, isn't that the bad one? No, it's okay. It's fine. Star Trek Nemesis. It is currently free on YouTube. I'll put that link in the YouTube chat again. It's also in the description. If you're just joining us, what you do is you get you queue it up, either a DVD or YouTube or whatever, though hopefully you're using the same version I am. I'm using the YouTube version. Makes it easier to sync. And then when we count down to 0, we all click play at the same time and we go. It's all good. And we watch Star Trek Nemesis together. But before we watch Star Trek Nemesis, you know what we could do? Once the screen catches up, we could take a Star Trek quiz.
Ooh.
Star Trek quiz. So yeah, everybody get yes, a Star Trek quiz. Everybody get queued up. We have 4 minutes about till we start Star Trek Nemesis. How well do you know the baddies of Star Trek, the original series? Man, I took off my headphones for a second to scratch my ear. Man, I'm loud on these streams. Jesus.
These are really... baddies.
Yes, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
If you're going on an errand of mercy, don't expect any help from this bad guy. He likes to kill hostages if he doesn't get his way. What is his name? Okay. I wasn't sure if it's Kor or Koloth. It's definitely not Curzon, but okay, Kor.
Yeah.
Let me zoom in a bit.
Wait, no.
No, it's Kor.
It might be... Okay, thanks.
No, I'm not loud on your end, but when I take off my headphones and I'm no longer being like muffled by my sound canceling, just like in my room, I'm a bit loud. But it's whatever. What kind of question is this? Mark Lennis played several roles in the Star Trek series, including Mr. Spock's father. In Balance of Terror, he's trying to destroy the Enterprise. Who is this villain? It doesn't even give us a name. It just says Romulan Commander, and obviously he's a Romulan Commander. I mean, look at him. He ain't no Klingon. If you want to play mind games, these aliens from the Menagerie Parts 1 and 2 will be happy to oblige by putting you in a cage. Get it? A cage? Because they come up in a later episode, and it's called The Cage. Wow. And using telepathy.
I don't know their name.
They're Lotians, Telosians, or Tellarites.
Telosians.
They're not Lotians?
No, because the planet is called Telos 4 or something, and that's what the death penalty is. Okay.
Oh, we got this guy in Lower Decks. I know who that is. That's a Mugato.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he showed up in episode 4 of Lower Decks, season 2?
Yeah, I remember. I don't even remember the TOS episode, but thanks.
I don't remember the TOS episode either, but I know this. I know this creature.
Wow.
It's definitely not a Targ.
Yeah.
This one, I think I might know this one, but I'm only like 60% sure. If you look behind the Savage Curtain, you might find this wannabe rock star. What is the name and species for this villain? This is the one where like they met Space Abraham Lincoln, and then there was also like Colonel Green and Kahless, and what's his name? The Vulcan philosopher of logic.
Surak.
Surak. Yes, Surak.
Surak. Surak.
Yes, Surak.
Uh-huh.
People are saying Yarmek or Yarnek.
I'm not
Yarmek,
sure. I have no
Yarnek.
idea.
And he's an Excalibur. That's the one I thought it was. Not Ornithoid, because Ornithoid I think just means
bird.
Bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just even the best MMA fighter. Oh, by the way, 40 seconds to start, so everyone be queued up to Star Trek Nemesis. We're gonna press play in just under 40 seconds. The best. Okay, look. That's a Gorn. Let's speed run.
We know what
Who's
that
this
is.
guy? I don't know this guy's name. Malik. No, it's Ruck. That's Khan Noonien Singh. That's a salt.
Yep.
I don't know the name of the planet. What's the name of the planet? That's a salt vampire, though. Beta 3?
Yeah.
No, not Beta 3. Beta 3 is a planet, but it's not that planet, apparently.
M113. That's weird. I would not have guessed that.
All right. Okay. Everybody get ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Unless you're in the voice chat and you can click on the watch party link, and then you're good. It automatically syncs for you.
Okay. Who's ready to watch Wrath of Khan? I mean, Nemesis.
Wrath of Khan,
See,
I can make so many people angry by just saying, I don't even really like Wrath of Khan that much. I think it's okay.
I think Nicholas
That's
Meyer was
okay,
the best
but-
director.
I feel like they matched a lot of the beats of Wrath of Khan in Nemesis. It's kind of like TNG's version of Wrath of Khan, even though it was a completely invented Nemesis. No pun intended.
All right, how long is this version? This version is 1 hour, 56 minutes, 25 seconds. 156.25. Star Trek Nemesis.
This is our last dose of TNG.
Yes.
Yes. Soma, did you make it work? Are you now in the US?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
It's been very slow.
I want to say I love this zoom in of Remus and Romulus and the
Yes.
star, and we get a zoom in like Google Earth, which didn't exist at this time, into the planet and the Romulan Senate, into the Senate chamber. And amazing soundtrack by Jerry Goldsmith, who of course wrote the motion picture / TNG theme.
And the first contact theme, I believe.
Yes.
We've seen the Romulan Senate from a distance a lot in a matte painting, but now we actually get to see it properly.
And somebody
Yes.
else did the Wrath of Khan music, right? And a lot of his first draft music ended
Sorry,
up
I just want to say the map on the
Some
floor
B
of the
movie?
Romulan Senate. I'm sorry to speak over you, but is like the
you're
the
not.
alpha beta quadrant.
No, you're not. You do it all the time.
Everybody does it
Yeah,
all the
but
time. That's the nature of the stream.
Yeah.
If there's something on
Yes.
screen that's kind of pertinent, but yes, as you were saying, Robo.
I was just saying that I can't remember the guy who did the music for Wrath of Khan, but like a bunch of his Wrath of Khan first draft stuff got reused in a B movie called, I think it was Space Pirates or something like that.
Wait, is that Pro Consul Neural again? Or is that someone else?
That's a Praetor, but
Is the
He says go
different
back
than
to
the Pro
that-
Consul?
Black Rock, and the original part of that senator's speech was "Don't let prejudice overcome you." But they are basically just being racist towards the Remans, and they called the dark
Tholian
planet
ambassador,
black.
interesting.
Oh yeah, Earth has a Tholian ambassador. Well, it's the Tholian ambassador isn't from Earth. He's the Tholian ambassador to Earth.
There's not much to talk to about the Tholians with, right? So if you're meeting with the Tholian ambassador,
They
it's
just
not.
screech at you. They're
It's-
awful.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a lot of screeching. The universal translator is like, I don't know, dude.
It
He's
can only
angry.
filter out so much.
This is really beautiful, and it shows up in the as a weapon in the ship in the jumbo version at the end.
Yes. This is a very
Yes.
spooky weapon. Why is it making holograms though? Why doesn't it just kill
Why are they
everyone?
not running?
Because they don't know what's
Yeah, why
happening.
is everybody just staring at it?
They don't know what it is.
But still, it seems
It's
a little
glowing,
ominous, don't you
and
think?
it's green.
The doors are locked.
And
Bye.
it's kind of like how the Nazis died in Raiders of the Lost Ark, reminiscent a little bit of that. But it's a great effect, even though they turned to stone.
No, he's gonna break this. No, we could. That statue would have been worth so much. A perfect statue of the Romulan Praetor, and it's gone.
I've got those uniforms back again.
Yeah, you guys were saying, Ryan, you didn't like the white uniforms.
No, I'm not keen.
I think they're very dressy, and the real life Navy people.
They're better than the original dress uniforms on TNG, for sure.
They wear
Yeah.
they wear
they are.
white bell
The
bottoms.
dresses, the actual dresses.
This
Yes.
is very Navy like.
What's the issue?
US
They look
Navy.
good in a dress. I like the
US
dresses
Navy.
more than these. Oh, there's Tracy in the background. God, she's heavily blurred out, and I can still tell it's Tracy.
Yeah, she was clearly a guest of honor.
Another got married. Huzzah, finally.
and he's taking the Titan. Oh look, they're like
Jeez.
in the LA
Patrick
countryside.
Stewart. Please stop.
Oh, there's Wesley. Wait, why
He's
why
no
are they
longer
still wearing their
energy?
rank pips?
It's like a formal function for the crew.
They're not. This isn't the holodeck, is it? They're not on the ship. Why are they? You can't say that to Mr. Data.
But I think Ryan, you have a clip about how many times
He
he
should have
said
said "Shut up, Wesley." Oh, I'm
About
sorry.
how many
I'm
times
Data.
people. Well, I have a compilation of them saying "Thank you, Mr. Data," but never in that compilation do they say "Shut up" because that's just rude.
I think I like the movie better 20 years later, but this wedding speech was a little bit. They had too much time. We didn't see. I would have liked to see more of the after party. We see a little bit of it.
So in the video suggestions tab on Discord, one person suggested a video talking about why Mr. Worf didn't invite these people to his wedding. Why?
Yes.
They all showed up to Riker's wedding. Worf was invited to Riker's wedding. Why wasn't Riker showing up at Worf's wedding? He didn't invite a single member of the TNG crew except Colum Meaney.
Because he didn't want to be an
be
inconvenience to them.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
That was entirely a joke.
By the way, are those symbols real? Like, or is that just like a futuristic thing they did for us?
Well, I doubt anyone's playing
made
music on
and
the
they
set
dubbed
because
over
they
it.
don't want to have people talking over it. That's not Romulan ale. That is green. How come Deanna's not wearing a dress uniform?
By the way, it's established in DS9.
He's wearing a dress.
Everyone else is
it's
wearing
her
a dress
wedding.
uniform.
Klingon blood wine is
Revelation.
enough to like knock humans out. So why would like a little Romulan ale disturb Worf? It makes no sense.
Like,
what?
Beverly's not wearing a dress. Also, I've discovered that people say "shut up" 76 times in the old Star Trek.
Which Star Trek? Next Generation?
Enterprise and earlier.
What's the timestamp?
The timestamp is 7:57, 7:58, 7:59, 8, 8:01, 8:02.
Never saw things
you.
going so right. Are you guys
8:10.
practicing for the Enterprise?
I
for
practiced
the,
that enough in my own time.
I was asking the rest of the guests.
Yeah, they've added a few scenes throughout the movies in TNG.
I do
where
not
it's
remember
just,
that scene.
It's just using the fact where Brent Spiner can sing.
So I'm glad you laughed because that means like if someone enjoys it, that's
Look
good.
at that.
But like I didn't enjoy any of that wedding scene, and it's just to me
I
it
don't
was
know. Most
bad
of the wedding
writing.
scene is horrible. It's just that ending is funny.
Okay,
Oh,
no, I
man.
mean if you get something out of it, then I think it's worth it. But
I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was okay.
Wedding scene's the
I don't
best
know,
part of
it's-
Nemesis.
The wedding could have even been even longer, but they cut at least one scene from it with Mr. Crusher.
Right. Yeah, with Wesley.
No, it's a shame.
So I guess
Oh,
the
yeah,
reason Worf is on the
um,
Enterprise this time is just because it was transporting him to the wedding.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it seems like
Is
he
he
is an
the
inconvenience. in
ambassador
fact.
to the
You know,
Federation at this
So
point?
they're just talking about the
Yeah, I
Betazoid
think so.
wedding.
yeah.
But if he's the ambassador
Moon-
to Federation, why is he wearing a Federation uniform? Isn't he not part of Starfleet anymore?
Moon, if I could push back on what you said, I think like in retrospect, Picard rounds out Nemesis pretty nicely, you know, because like what happens with Data and so on. So I think, you know, Nemesis
Yeah.
is pretty okay, actually.
An android on Kalaris 3.
Oh, the guy who
Oh.
wrote Gladiator wrote Nemesis. This is why it was meant to be the action film of all action films.
That map looks very similar to the one that was on the floor of the Romulan Senate.
Yes.
Ah.
Should they just update that all the time it changes on the floor?
Yes. Of course. But there's a neutral zone
Every
now.
single time they're out, they finish a meeting, someone comes in and repaints it.
There's a neutral zone.
Is
But yeah,
Beta Z BETAZED or is it just BZ?
AZED, like you said the first time.
Yeah.
Or is it Beta Z?
Bataz?
So they mention the Titan here, but don't actually show it. Riker just remains on the Enterprise for this film.
No. We don't
Right.
see the Titan in canon until Lower Decks.
Yes.
Don't they say something about Riker like taking Troy's name in this movie? Or that like never happens in Lower Decks?
I don't know. Maybe. Keep an eye out for it. Or near out, rather.
If they do, it was a deliberate choice to not have it in Lower Decks, so they did rewatch like everything to put as much
those-
detail into Lower Decks as possible.
Well,
All
to
I
be
took
fair,
away
would
from
be
it is that
Picard's
Picard
fault
wants to
because
get
it
everyone
first
naked.
appeared there.
Oh! I know what you're thinking of.
And
You're
he did
thinking of
not watch Star Trek.
when Riker is walking off the bridge and Picard says, "Oh, good luck, Mr. Troy." I remember that
would-
now.
That would probably be just a joke if it's that single line.
It might be this scene.
Hey, Argo.
There it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, everyone just laughs at it.
I mean, he could take Troy's name. It's fine. But then he'd share a last name with Luoxana, and that's an issue.
Yes.
Also, we do need seatbelts.
That's
at
an
the campus
interesting
here.
shuttle design.
Hmm.
I do like
So
the shuttle
what
in
would
this movie.
Riker's claim be on the Chalice of Reeks?
I don't think he would have any claim on it. I think Deanna would be the holder of the Sacred Chalice of Reeks, heir to the Holy Rings of Beta Z.
Hold
daughter
on,
of the
that looks
Fifth
like a
House.
Mass Effect shuttle. The Mass Effect came afterwards.
I think it looks cool.
Yeah, I like it too.
Wow, the sound is fluctuating wildly.
I even kind
Like,
of like the stupid Dune
volume-wise.
buggy.
Jesus, that's not safe. What are you
That's
doing?
right.
Going on
One of
two
the things. One of the things Nemesis was hyped
But,
for was that they had an indoor space battle. Like later when they have the shuttle go wild.
Patrick
inside
Stewart did all the
Johnson.
stunts for this.
Patrick Stewart must have done all the stunts for this because the only reason this exists is because Patrick Stewart demanded it.
Yeah.
Yes. He wanted this.
What
I remember
it's
watching
fine.
a video.
It's whatever.
It was
Why-
weird when you watch
know,
it. Like,
impossible.
yeah, the movie didn't need it at all. But but when you're watching it, you're like a little bit disoriented because like you never see like the washed out effect in the movies like this.
Oh yeah, where was Luoxana on the wedding scene? She wasn't there.
Why
Where'd
is
she go?
that Worf wearing?
She wasn't invited. They knew she'd just take it and make it all about her.
It was
They were
awkward
all
because
That was
different goggles.
purposeful.
she
Yeah, it's all
tried
about her
to
what you
marry
think
Wasn't
about
Riker
her
Riker
alive at this
earlier.
point? Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, this is why they find B4.
Yes.
Spoilers,
I-
but in a couple of seconds.
This was during the internet era. So I actually
That
the
color
day
grading.
before I saw this movie, I read a leaked script online, but obviously it wasn't the leaked script because B4 was called B9. So sometimes people put out fake leaked scripts, as I found out. But otherwise, it was mostly the same, or it could have been an earlier draft that they leaked.
Why would you spoil yourself?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I watched it. But
Hang on.
This-
Data said it looks like a robotic arm, but as he has pointed out himself, he's an android, not a robot.
Yes.
They're different things.
Android.
He doesn't know
Android
it's
an
belongs to
emergent
him.
property of being a robot with a consciousness.
Don't worry about it.
No, an android is just a robot shaped like a person. Data is a sentient
So it's a
android.
robot.
It looks like the they set the contrast too high on this scene.
Yeah.
Well, you see
the
the
exposure,
star of this
actually.
planet. It's really bright, folks, and
Thanks, man.
this is intentional.
Ah, I
Thank you,
see.
man.
It's part of the.
Okay. Yeah. Also known as the washed out effect.
It's a
But looking back to watching this movie with like the full sound on, on full blast and stuff, is really actually quite enjoyable.
To be perfectly honest, for what they're doing in this, which is trawling around on the ground looking for the parts, it does slightly make sense to be in the body.
two
Because then
things.
you're not having to
One,
land every time.
first thing, this is the second time they found Data's head somewhere. And
Yeah.
two,
Yeah, what if it wasn't Data's head that time and it was this one?
I don't know. Two, why are they holding guns? Why are their guns out like this head is a threat to them?
Yeah. Because
Might be dangerous.
What's it gonna do?
it's
Bite
true
them?
though. Yeah.
Might explode or something. I don't know.
They probably know that
And the
there's
gun is gonna
hostile
help with the
aliens on this
explosion?
planet.
Maybe its eyes will be phasers.
They probably knew the Mad Max aliens were here. So they
That-
had the guns out.
That didn't look like Michael Dorn for a second there. When he was firing the gun. Now, this part of the buggy, I do have a little bit of a problem with. Why does a Federation Dune buggy have a machine gun?
Why doesn't it have shields?
Defense, obviously.
Because it's designed
It's a
for
defensive machine
defense
gun.
in
Mad Max
quotation marks.
aliens. The shuttle also has phasers on it.
That's true. In the last movie, the shuttle had quantum torpedoes.
Yeah, the shuttle's always had torpedoes and stuff.
Why
They
doesn't
do
it
have
have
the weird
more
frog
shields?
shuttle from early TNG, but
That was the one that was designed by Probert for the Enterprise D. The prop didn't really match the concept art.
Is
Why
this a
doesn't it have
Prime Directive
directional phasers?
violation?
Say again?
Is this a
Possibly.
Prime Directive violation?
probably.
Oh, definitely.
Not
He's,
that
like,
people really
destroying a
care about the
pre-warp
Prime Directive in
civilization,
Star
right?
Trek, but
Is it though? They already had access to the space tech.
I don't know. Well,
How is that the only damage that's been done so far in this fight?
Yeah, they didn't even like. You see the bullet almost hit Worf, but like he doesn't even get hit.
these space primitives are terrible shots.
To me, like
I probably
they're
don't get much action.
they're clearly evoking the Jawa of Star Wars.
Are they?
I don't think so.
I feel like
I don't remember Jawas pulling out machine guns.
like the
Why don't they
That
just
jump was
have the
completely
E
unnecessary.
beam the Argo into like the cargo bay?
they're just like desert pirates, faceless desert pirates. Oh, they're Remans. Okay.
I should go.
That can't be a Riemann because if this star is super bright, how could they see? Oh, that's why they missed all their shots because they can't see in the sun.
Flexi brains.
That must be it.
It's all coming together. It all makes sense.
Yeah, this movie's finally making sense.
Your eyes are identical. Thank you, Data. I like that blur over Data's body's crotch. The frosted glass.
Yeah. Also, Dr. Crusher always checks out the eyes of her patients.
Only when it's a skull.
Uh-huh. But B9 is also an ironic name because like benign means harmless, even though B4 is also pretty whimsical.
Also, yes, if you're watching the YouTube version, you might want to use the map block.
Yeah. Or pay for YouTube Prime, which is what we're all doing.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm watching on YouTube.
What's the YouTube Plus with no ads? $10 a month.
Yeah, YouTube Premium.
Yeah,
I
we're
do
all
not have
doing
YouTube
that.
Premium.
Uh,
I don't see the value when I can just have an extension that does the same thing. God, look at all those pads.
Why is
Yep.
he using a screwdriver on his pad?
That's not a screwdriver. Someone pointed out in a video, in the 2-year-old Grey Hot video, that that's actually like a butane torch. Oh, hey, Janeway.
Anyway.
Admiral Janeway to you.
I'm deeply disappointed that I wasn't able to include this in the Yes Ma'am video for Janeway because he doesn't guess mammer. Janeway, of course, was
I
promoted
would say
to...
yes, ma'am, to Admiral Janeway.
She was, of course,
Mhm.
promoted to Admiral, so she could not cause any more damage.
She brought her
She
ship
became an
home.
evil admiral instantly.
Always the
She
closest
didn't even have
ship.
to do anything.
Actually, everything she does.
So it actually makes sense in this film. They explain why they're the closest ship because they've already gone to the area for looking for B4.
Good observation.
Maybe it's because he's the flagship.
It's weird that she's
Janeway.
like talking down to him like that, despite idolizing him.
Yeah.
Well, now she outranks him, so he needs to idolize her.
No, he's clear.
It's like a Janeway power move.
He was legendary when she was just signing up for her first mission.
I was gonna ask, wait, who's that helmsman? That's not Hawk. We had Hawk before. What happened to him? No, he died. He got assimilated by the Borg.
Hmm.
He needed to be replaced. Why is Jordan not at the helm? He was the helmsman last movie.
The warp effect is different.
I really hope that's not to scale, Jesus.
It's basically a moon.
That's more than a moon. That's
So
2 planets right next to each other. They're about to collide.
Yeah.
the rotation of Remus is exactly aligned with the orbit around the sun.
Yeah, title.
Or in other words, tidal locked, yeah.
Tidally locked.
This was a really interesting line because, like, you know, TNG referencing the Dominion War. We got some good writing. Frakes directed all 3 TNG movies.
He directed Insurrection. Maybe Insurrection.
He
Yeah,
directed
Insurrection.
First Contact and
First Contact.
Insurrection for sure. Yeah, I don't know about
Well, let me
Generations
look it up.
or
Star Trek Nemesis.
maybe he did.
Wikipedia. Directed by Stuart Baird.
Thanks. Oh yeah, and I remember the commentary. When the DVD first came out, they had the director's commentary, and the guy like puts you to sleep. Like you need to have 3 or 4 people on a commentary, like this channel. Otherwise, like even the director himself is like the famous warp speed.
This is a cool shot.
Yeah, it is.
This feels wildly dangerous. This is a strange android you're hooking into.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's going to have all Data's memory. It's not a matter of Data feeling comfortable with it. It's a matter of him revealing Starfleet secrets. Remember that time he was sworn to secrecy about the existence of a species that would kill anyone who approached? Now B4 knows about them too.
This is some Cylon level tech right here.
And we know he has an evil brother before, so it's not a great idea.
No, the evil brother's lower, not before.
No, B4 isn't evil. He's just on the evil side. Accidentally.
Before just accident is like a kid though, so he can't be evil. Like a little kid spying for North Korea. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, he's not wrong. That is an astute observation, B4.
Like
B4 just looks like Data, but dropping acid.
yeah, basically.
I bet Brent Spiner's having a great time with it.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. It's kind of weird, but like TNG kind of revolved around Picard and Data and their relationship and Data's Pinocchio kind of thing. So
It looks like they also did something with his. That's not Brent Spiner. I don't know who the heck's ears that is, but it's not Brent. It looks like they did something with his makeup though to make him look a little younger.
the TNG movies, like besides First Contact, they felt very much like 2-hour long episodes.
This is. You could say to some extent this is brainwashing because B4
Yeah.
has no idea about what is going
Just
on.
tried
They're
to
just saying,
completely
"Hey, trust us. This will be fine."
Just tried to completely
purest
override
sense of
B4's
the word.
personality.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the pure sense of the word indoctrination, isn't it?
The Enterprise E shots are beautiful though.
So this
Any
movie,
idea
I
where?
mostly like this movie, but the scenes of Troy's inside Troy's mind, let's put it that way, are just awful,
Yeah.
deeply
The
uncomfortable
rape
to watch.
scenes.
And we've had episodes like that, so there was no reason to make a movie like that.
Mr. Worf can never get.
Like I remember this scene being boring in the movie theater, but looking back,
But now you appreciate it.
yeah,
attention.
yeah, now I appreciate it. It has nice planet views and all that.
Well, you were expecting someone. Why are you freaking out?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're acting
Why
like this
does
thing is
Michael
really
Dorn
big, but I
sound like
can't actually
they-
tell how big this is on screen. It's a picture.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
does it sound like they pitch shifted Michael Dorn's voice deeper?
Maybe he is
Did
just
he like
speaking
put on
deeper.
weight?
He just had peanut
I think
butter
he
in
put
his
on some
throat.
weight.
But she's a predator, even though she looks like a bug.
It does sound a little different, you're right.
Yeah, it looks like a crab or something.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that really stood out to me at this movie was that it was like Michael Dorn's voice is weird.
And then I'm not Shinzon. It's like we see the bad guy, but we don't see the bad guy.
Well, why is his viceroy a vampire?
Why is his viceroy what's his name? Ron Perlman.
Riemann.
Well, of course it's Riemann.
Every single top level
Love
officer other than
Lucas.
Geordie going down. And Beverly, of course.
What vices does Shinzon have that need managing?
You saw that door monster video.
Yes. How dare
I
you
mean-
insult the king's viceroy?
They're not even meeting in a neutral location. They're like going on to like 5 of you, for you and your
Into
most
his
senior
throne
staff.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, all they need to do is kill these people, and then like the Enterprise D can just be captured, basically.
Right.
They don't even. Why do they even care about capturing the Enterprise D? Their whole plan is to just destroy Earth, right? With the
Right, to
weapon?
attack the Federation right now.
We can blow up. We can blow up the Enterprise immediately, or we don't even have to. The Enterprise could have gotten to Romulus, and then while it's on its way, you just go to Earth by yourself,
Right.
cloaked. Why
Right.
are we
No,
doing this?
like a truly evil villain, he has to monologue about why he's doing it, and he needs to make Picard know that he's been defeated
Right.
I
before
think
he
in this context,
before
it
he
does
destroys
actually
him.
make sense for him to not have gone to Earth because he needs like Picard's DNA to cure himself
Blood.
from his
He needs
imminent
a
death.
blood he needs a complete blood
Picard's blood.
transfusion.
I think
But
it's like Deus Ex Machina.
also we need the dramatic reveal to build up. So and the whole metaphor of stepping from darkness to light has to be like hammered over the head with us.
It would have been better if Shinzon was Patrick Stewart. There is a deep fake someone made, not me, someone else, on a different Star Trek channel, where it's a just Patrick Stewart, just old Patrick
probably
Stewart
not
talking
worth
old
watching.
Patrick Stewart. Oh, don't make it weird,
Like-
Shinzon.
Yeah. But like there's a coup and the new guy wants to meet you. Uh-huh. Okay. Why would you ever go to that? This guy blew up everybody in the Romulan Senate. I'm sure Starfleet intelligence got a hold of that. And they're just gonna meet him.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Deanna looking uncomfortable or Marina looking uncomfortable. Maybe both. Unity. That sounds like a Star Trek thing. Of TNG.
Even though again this dialogue is whatever, like I don't care much about anything in the script right now, especially like can I touch your hair? But that's really interesting. Like he walks up and down the set and he still hasn't revealed his face to our main characters
Yeah.
yet.
We could potentially have used Patrick Stewart's son. He was in TNG before. As
We
Shinzon.
should've. Yeah, as a kid, it did break
What's
it for
Patrick
me
Stewart's son look like?
that this
He
guy
looked
didn't
kinda
look enough
Patrick
like
Stewart's what he
Picard.
looks like.
Other than that, he was bald. I wasn't convinced that this guy was Picard, a younger Picard.
Let me look up Patrick Stewart's son. Daniel Stewart. There's a picture of him from TNG, but
I think he looks much like his dad. He's like way taller. He's like
like a foot
10 inches
taller
taller than Patrick
Yeah.
Stewart.
Like this guy looks nothing.
It
like
definitely won't look
Picard.
like a clone. He has like different eyes.
well, someone
has
has a
different-
voicemail or a text message.
Sorry.
Look at that.
But
Maybe it's
his
a booty
outfit
call.
is kind of shiny. I didn't like it at the time, but now he makes a good.
It looks like
Lizard?
it squeaks as he walks around.
They maybe should have glued his ears back a little bit, because his ears, Tom Hardy's ears, really. I think that this role almost destroyed Tom Hardy's career.
Yeah.
I remember reading something like after this, he went into like a thing where he didn't want to act anymore. He was depressed because this movie bombed so hard.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not for lack of trying, right? They got like one of the best art action director writers to write the script. It was supposed to be, a huge blockbuster. And again, they put so much scale into it. Like the scimitar is bigger than 4 Enterprise E's.
I don't suppose Captain Picard brought a gun. Because if he did, we could shoot it. We could shoot Tom Hardy right here.
Yeah, I don't know.
So dramatic.
They make the Enterprise
They
E
have
seem
syringes in the Romulan Empire. You don't need to cut yourself with a knife, man. Jesus.
Yeah,
Did you even sanitize
so more
that?
dramatic.
you could just take a
He doesn't need
Q-tip
to. They have
and swab the
24th
inside of
century
your
medicine.
mouth and take some cheeks sample.
You could like spit into a
24th
cup.
century.
Yeah.
24th century knives are self-sanitizing. We have
Well, this is
metamaterials
so
now that
unnecessary.
destroy microorganisms on contact. So
There's
I
so much
imagine the
better ways to
24th
get a
century
DNA
that would be
sample.
on
You could
everything.
well, actually, I was about to say you could have plucked out a hair, but no, he couldn't.
No, you couldn't.
Well, he might
Well,
have hair somewhere else that we can't see.
Yeah. Maybe like some
not worry
armpit
about
hair,
that.
for example.
He's not bald everywhere. I'm sure.
Oh, you're right. He could have plucked out an ear hair.
A
I'm sure
nose
Picard's
hair.
got some
it's the
nose
worst.
hairs.
The worst hair to pluck is the nose hair. Oh my god.
Hey, she has a Spock like. Oh well, she had that
What
in
about
her
his-
office before. The things she looks.
What about his
inside.
Irumodic
Microscope.
syndrome? Does he have his Irumodic syndrome?
Yeah, but that's not gonna manifest until Shinzon is long dead. I wouldn't worry about it.
Wait, Shenzon dies?
Spoiler.
No. The main villain in a Star Trek show doesn't just get talked down and walk away.
He gets
I
a
mean, that
redemption
would
arc
be
in
something
a
that you should
movie.
kind of expect in Star Trek, to be perfectly honest. But in film, that's not
Hey,
what happens.
I like how the Romulan Senate. I just noticed in this movie, it's by the water and has a dam like next to it, like the Netherlands almost.
have a purpose.
See-
The purpose is I want to live. and
Right,
I
that's
need
the thing.
Picard's blood.
They were supposed to do a strike against the Federation, like surprise attack, and instead he's here hanging out. But we also get this bad guy built up because he was 18 hours a day under the lash of a Romulan guard. So we're supposed to sympathize with him a little bit.
I don't.
Well, he says 18 hours a day, but a day on Remus is literally forever. So that was 18 hours total. The rest of his life, he was fine.
Well,
I like her a bit.
they would still have a method of tracking time.
Yeah, but he said a day specifically.
Universal translator for us. So I can really guess it.
I guess potentially could have meant a Romulan day, but how long's a Romulan day? Maybe it's 100 hours. Maybe he had a lot of time off of his torture. Yeah, when you hit your push to talk, it's all
Yeah, I
gross.
know. It's worse than. It's better than the alternative, though.
It might be being filtered. People in YouTube, are you hearing crackling occasionally? Because that might be being filtered out. It might be fine on YouTube's end.
I'm using NVIDIA broadcast, so I can't
I'm
hear
not
any
asking
noise coming
you.
from anybody.
I don't. It's not bothering me anyway. I don't think I've noticed any.
I haven't noticed. But wait, why does it say here you're not a woman, you're a Romulan? Like, of course she's a
He
woman.
hates the Romulans.
Yeah, but she's pretty womanly, I think, anyway.
No crackling on YouTube? Okay, so if it's being filtered out, I can deal with it on Discord. I just don't want it on the VOD.
He is saying that he doesn't think of her as a woman. He thinks of her as a Romulan, and he detests
Right.
Yes.
all Romulans.
Right. Because and by the way, it's interesting the
Yeah.
Romans accept him as one of them.
He's de-Romulanizing there.
Right.
Well, he endured the same treatment that they did.
Yeah. But also she asked for loyalty. He said, "Oh, can you stay behind? And I want your loyalty," which is very much like what a certain president did for his FBI
That sounds
director.
somewhat
when he got-
familiar.
You're not supposed to do that. So Shinzon doesn't like to be touched. We can establish this.
By Romulans.
No, in general though, he just don't touch the guy. He's just not very touchy.
What if we touched him with a bullet at high velocity?
What if we touch him with a stream of particles at high velocity, when a high energy level?
That sounds like a
How's
good
that,
idea.
Brian? I thought you'd like it.
What if we touched him with a pointed stick? There are so many ways to deal with this
Oh,
problem.
cat.
It's kind of
Touch him
hinted
with
here.
love.
It's kind of hinted
What
here.
if we
that
just have Data touch him with his powerful android hands and squeeze him
We
really
just
hard?
need to touch
like,
his heart with a pointed stick.
Squeeze the hate out.
Wait, the Riemann gives
squeeze
him
the
healing
hate.
just by touching his chest. So it's like how Vulcans and Romulans have telepathic mind meld abilities. Maybe Riemann's have like physical healing going on.
And yes, we'll get a pointed stick eventually. We just have to wait for
He's
the pointed
seeing-
stick.
It's supposed to be.
No, it's Ron Perlman's chin is healing him because his chin is so powerful.
I've seen more
Dinner with-
powerful chins. Have you seen the chin guy, the jaw guy? We all know the jaw guy. He's way more powerful than Ron Perlman in terms of chin.
I don't know.
Doesn't seem like it happens that often.
No, it really doesn't
government
happen that
changing.
often. They're pretty stable actually.
Maybe we just don't hear about it. That's why. Oh, I get it. That Proconsul Nero, remember in Unification he was really young, and then when he showed up in DS9 he was really old because it was a different Proconsul Nero. It was a shift in government.
Thanks.
They're closing that plot hole.
Thanks. Having said, it wasn't that bad. The fact that these two actors are able to vibe, like I'm just a younger you.
Yeah. And the rehearsal scenes are like the line ratings are available on
cool.
YouTube, and they're pretty good. They're pretty cool.
Cool.
2 meters. How much is 2 meters in feet and inches? Is that like 6.5 or 7 feet?
6.
Yeah, six.
Yeah, 6 and change.
Yeah.
Just 6. But I like the stained glass in the background. I never noticed that. That's a lot of work.
6.56 feet. So like 6 foot 6, 6'7". Yeah, that's pretty tall. But no. Patrick
So
Stewart's son is that tall, and then that line would have had to be changed. I'm so glad I managed to hit 2 meters.
If you're the result of a failed Romulan cloning genetic engineering experiment, you just wind up in the pits of the mining colony.
My gosh.
I feel like we could have just executed the child. Why did we put him in a prison camp? Why did we put him in the cave set? We could have shot him.
Yeah, why didn't they just like recycle him like they did with all the other failed clones? To just when when you're done with an animal for an experiment, you just euthanize them. Why didn't they just euthanize them, incinerate them? Why?
It's not like he has
Just
Romulan
why?
rights.
You don't want the evidence of your failed cloning experiment running around on the planet, adjacent to your planet, to
And
be
it's not like
found
he's
by
going to
the
be any good for
Federation
mining even.
Intelligence or
What's the
Section
point? He's a
31.
child. Just kill him. Kill the child.
Yeah.
It's
With
not
a
like he's
pointed
gonna
stick.
This
grow up and blow up everybody in the Senate one day.
the whole premise of this movie is shaky.
I mean, it was cloning was a
Romulus died
huge
like
thing.
30.
Like we had Dolly, the first sheep that was a cloning thing in like '99, and so it was pretty amazing that like wow, we can clone sheep now. Like we're in a brave new world. So I can see why, as a sci-fi thing, it was something that was kind of like the
And those
cool thing
sheep
to do.
all led normal, healthy, long-lived lives. Spoiler, they didn't.
Yeah, and it probably took a couple of hundred tries to even have a successfully fertilized embryo. But the point is, we cloned a sheep, and so it was just like when Kasparov lost the Deep Blue. You know, it was like where our technology is getting a little bit ahead of us, and so this is kind of that too. What if your future clone became your worst enemy? Like I think someone
What does
said
the
this
dude have a grudge
for...
against me? I just run a YouTube channel, man. I'm not offensive.
The rule
What does he
the rule
want?
is if you run into your doppelganger, you have to kill your doppelganger before your doppelganger kills you. That's the rule.
Why?
Okay, so we've already solved this.
Is he trying to
'cause
take
that's the
over the
rule.
channel? Does he want to take over the editing? Because he can
It
have
doesn't
it.
matter. You can't have a clone of you running around. You just
Why?
can't.
Why not?
It's because it's always
not a
ends
big deal.
badly.
I
Well,
remember
here-
in TNG season 2, everyone was deeply offended by cloning. Some people, they cloned Riker and Pulaski, someone else, and they
Yes.
just murdered those clones immediately.
Yeah.
It's because they took the genetic material without their consent.
Well, that's what happened here.
That was the abortion analog video. Like, is it really alive? It hasn't really been born yet. It hasn't woken up, so to say. And it was
Well, it was definitely
someone
alive.
was given the equivalent of a child against their will. Is it okay to, Anyway.
Well, here's the thing. They were like adult size clone. They weren't
They
just
were
like
adult-sized,
embryos,
but-
right? They were right. So what was going to happen? Were they going to come out and be completely blank like a baby? Like they're going to have no?
Yeah,
or
they were
going
gonna be
to
B4.
somehow implant memory engrams.
Just B4, but human.
Yeah, that's the
It's
other
weird.
thing.
Like
The parallel
cloning in
is
science fiction always is weird because
Data has
kids
his
count as babies, not adults.
Data has his clone who's like a child, and Picard has his clone who's evil.
Not a child.
Unauthorized access to
angry
the
child?
computer core. Do you think it could be
Yeah,
that strange android who we plugged into
Yes.
the ship that might be doing it?
Mm. That's
An
where I would
angry,
start looking.
abused, psychopathic child.
And he even called it a data stream.
This is why Jordy's so smart. Because
Aileron.
every
What does that
cloaking,
mean?
Just
That's
explain for the
the-
audience, please.
that is theoretical radiation, which killed the Romulan senators at the beginning.
Hmm.
By the way, this is basically a neutron bomb. If you explode a neutron bomb, it wouldn't even make an explosion. It would just send so many neutrons everywhere that like it would kill every living thing. And my my earth science teacher told us in I think 8th grade, the food would be okay, but everybody would be dead.
And Stellaris, one of the super weapons you can make, the Colossus, is a neutron sweep, and it just bombards an entire planet with its radiation, leaves all the infrastructure intact, so you can just colonize it, get all the stuff. Take the planet for yourself. Wipe it clean.
What about the
That's a-
plants and
that's a
animals?
daisy
I
cutter.
mean, don't you want the plants and animals
Nah.
to eat?
Whatever. You can ship in food from
It's
elsewhere
like-
in the Empire while you replant.
You can replant and recolonize the animals kingdom too. I
You
mean,
clone a bunch of sheep
if you just bring cats and goldfish, they'll destroy all the native wildlife anyway.
and eat mutton chops forever.
What's wrong with Beverly's hair? Is there something wrong with Beverly's hair? I wasn't looking at her hair. What's up with her hair?
Ketchup.
The interesting thing about this film was we started.
Hey, look how handsome.
We started the story like halfway
th-
through
that's
the
her hair.
evil villain's plan.
No, I think that's just her. I don't think that's even a wig.
No. By the way, no,
Yeah, it might
I
be a
don't
wig.
remember him. I don't remember him at all.
I mean, that just looks like hair to me. I don't see the issue.
Hey, look, the mask in the background and the astrolab.
That's a weird mask.
Yeah, and that's a weird display table behind your work table.
Why is he so hung up on peace with Romulus? Is it because of the mind meld with Spock?
Yeah, he was working on it. He's Sarek and Spock's
I think it's
successor.
quite important to the entire Federation, so
He
it's
just wants
okay
to-
for one captain to be hung up on it for a bit.
The Federation wants everyone to be in the Federation, including
He
the
wants it on his
Romulans.
resume. He wants to be
Yeah,
like, I'm the captain who brought peace to the Romulan.
Are you guys ready
The
to be deeply
Federation of-
uncomfortable?
The Federation are the passive-aggressive version of the Borg.
You know what? I'm uncomfortable even
They
when
do it with
they're
root
when
beer.
they have a consensual scene with Riker and Troy. But yeah, a good time to get ice cream.
Why are we being extremely uncomfortable?
Just wait. Give it like
Okay.
45 seconds.
Telepathic violation.
Maybe less
Oh
than
my God.
45, actually.
Ice cream time.
So this is
Well,
just
so
them
it's a
being
sex-
married
no,
on a honeymoon.
Not
Yeah.
not ice cream.
No, hang
Troy
on,
scream.
Argos. Give it a little time.
Okay.
All right, we're
Ugh.
getting some spooky music. All right, how about now?
This reminds me of that planet with
like-
the two old people.
It's like
Now-
that episode where the guy puts the memory in our head.
The music.
that Riker
The
was like-
music.
Yes, it's exactly
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
why
yeah.
did we have to see it multiple times? Why does this keep happening?
Because that's all the writers can figure out to do with Troy is just have her be victimized. Why does he even do this to her at this point? Like they haven't even revealed that they're evil yet. I mean, yeah.
This
Why
has
is he
got to be
using
really
his head
awkward
as
for
a
the Viceroy.
transmitter?
Yeah, why does
he like one of
why
those-
is Daddy here?
Is Shinzon one of those guys that like likes to like watch or something?
I don't want to comment on what Shinzon may or may not like in this context. How about we just say he's evil and leave it at that?
Yes.
Anyway, back to the wacky sci-fi space adventure. Hopefully.
Always
No?
good.
Ah, yes, here goes the wacky sci-fi space adventure. There's B4. So is anyone going to notice that they beamed over B4? Does anyone care on the Enterprise?
Why don't Starfleet ships have automated sensors for transporter signals and things and immediately alert?
I wish I had a replicator
what
right
kind
next
of
to my
tea, though?
chair.
What kind
I'm
of tea
sure
is
it's
it?
happened several times that they've
And what
noticed
temperature
immediately
is
that
it?
something was being done.
Yeah.
Well, he did say hot.
Oh, did he? I just heard
Yes.
tea.
I don't know if she wants to describe it to you. Maybe she should talk to like a counselor or someone. Do you have another counselor? How about we just leave? What?
Yeah, what? We need you
I'm
here
sorry,
for the plot.
what? If you can endure more of these assaults, he's just gonna let it happen to use for his own ends? That's kind of messed up, Picard. I didn't remember that happening.
Picard is not above putting his goals ahead of the welfare of his crew. Okay, now he's a sympathetic villain.
Is he? He just sexually assaulted a woman.
By proxy, I mean,
That doesn't make it better.
Yeah, wow.
isn't. That's the point. Thank you.
If I didn't think that was a joke, that would be a ban-worthy comment.
I mean, we've all been lonely before, right? Not for.
All right, let's go ahead and mute him for a little bit. Yeah, why did we... They downloaded every single one of Data's memories into B4, and then they just have access to all of it. Now they have the command codes. They have access to all the information about Starfleet. They know what kind of beverages Captain Picard likes to drink. Why do they got it? They're so reckless with Data. You're your own man, Shinzon. Just go be yourself.
Yes.
You're not the same race, right? You're a different species. You're not. Shinzon is in fact not a space vampire. He just lives with space vampires. If you have a clone, say you have a clone and your parents die, do you have to split the inheritance between the two of you, or does it only go to the original biological child?
Original biological child.
Clones don't have any legal status in law, so yeah.
Clones don't count as real children.
Well, they're people, but they're not. No, they're not going to be in the line of inheritance, right? I don't even know if you heard that.
Yes.
Does that mean I can own my own clone army? Yes, thank you.
Yes, you absolutely
Well,
can
you
have
can't
a clone
own them.
army.
They're still people.
Are they
No,
people
they're not.
really?
They're just clones.
Yeah, they're still people.
Nah, they're just
They
clones.
still have like human rights.
They're not real people.
Well,
They don't.
Consider if we make an entire clone army
not
out of one
property.
person like Jango Fett, then they're all just one person rights. So really, you're only
Yeah.
violating one person's human rights.
You know,
And that's
I'd
not
like
so
to point
bad.
out that you just threatened to mute me for saying the guy was lonely, but now you're advocating for slavery.
Yes, that's exactly the situation. Glad we're on the
Okay.
same
Maybe it
page.
becomes beneficial that they took that you downloaded Data's memories because Data's memories are now taking over.
No, that's just straight up
Nah,
data.
no,
That's not
it
even
is
before.
Data. Yeah, it is Data.
Yeah, they switched
When
them.
When did they
Yeah.
put the redundant memory port to data?
The other thing on that same thing, if Starfleet just said, "Hey Shinzon, we have a complete blood transfusion ready for you. You don't have to kill Picard," would he just stop being the bad guy?
Yeah, why not just give him what he wants? It doesn't seem like that part of a thing to do. Why does Picard need to die? Why does he need to destroy the Federation to get a little infusion? Just be
Well,
like,
he want.
hey,
I think him wanting to destroy the Federation and wanting the infusion are two separate goals. I think he would just go
Okay.
destroy the Federation once he got it.
Right.
well, here's the thing, right?
That's
Like,
what's holding him up from attacking the Federation is that he wants to live after he wins.
why is he mad at Picard? Picard didn't clone him. Picard didn't put him on the prison planet. Like, just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, why
I
are
mean,
you so angsty?
Picard
Why are you so
represents-
upset?
Yeah.
it's teenage angst. He's just mad
Picard
at his
represents
parents.
everything that he isn't.
Right.
Right, but it's
Handsome.
not Picard's fault. You know what?
you're
He
right.
needs to spend some time with Counselor Troy in a professional,
Yeah.
No, not Counselor Troy.
professional,
I don't think she could be a good counselor for him.
in a professional setting.
Go see Esri or someone. No,
Capacity,
no, don't
capacity.
don't even give him Esri. Give him a human counselor. Not a human, a male counselor. That's what I meant to say. A human male counselor.
Or a
I think you're
Romulan
making some
female
assumptions here.
I'm making a
that
lot of assumptions
might not
about
be
Shinzon
correct.
specifically. Yes.
Yes, because you don't know. Maybe he's like
Okay, but-
pansexual or something.
Shinzon should not
Well,
be
he
given
didn't-
telepathic counselors, okay? Just as a precaution for telepathic.
Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe it's not about the gender. Maybe it's about
I think it's
The
reasonable to
control.
assume he's only into women because when he showed up, when they beamed onto his ship in the throne room, he was only fascinated by Troy. He didn't care about Riker, and he's very handsome.
Yeah.
I think.
And he could have run his hands through Riker's beard. But
well,
he
you
just-
know, again, you are projecting your own like
No, he's right. As
Oh, look,
someone
a
with a
painting.
beard,
you're projecting.
I've had people
You
ask
find-
to
you
run their
find-
fingers through my beard. I have a
Yeah,
very
I've had
shiny
that
beard.
too. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I think that what you're doing is like you're giving him your perspective. You're projecting your own. What's the word I'm looking for?
I'm projecting my own
Biases.
belief that he can't be trusted around women.
Prejudices,
No, it's just
Delusions.
like
assumptions.
when you don't have information, like your brain makes assumptions, and you always kind of make the assumption that's closest to your own.
That's all we're doing here because it's
your own
we're
self,
limited
you
by
know?
the script, so that's all we do here. We just project stuff. Like
Just because you think Riker's attractive doesn't mean that he thinks Riker's attractive.
Okay.
Riker is indubitably attractive.
Maybe he thinks.
Hang on, let me set up a YouTube poll real quick. Is Riker an attractive man? Yes?
Again, it's totally
No.
subjective. The poll is irrelevant. It's
It's gonna-
subjective. It's
Yeah,
personal
that's the idea.
preference.
But if everybody says yes, then that means something. If it's 100% yes,
It doesn't.
This scene is pretty cool because you know the guy who wrote Gladiator did this scene. So this is supposed to be an action movie, and the hopes was that audiences would just come to it for that reason alone.
Why are they shooting the door?
To prevent them going through.
They have to weld it shut.
Reopen it.
You haven't even tried to open it yet.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, right, yes.
It's an action movie. They had to shoot
Pew
everything.
pew 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 pew.
All right, 100% of people have declared Riker an attractive man. Therefore, it's not subjective. Riker is
There we go.
objectively attractive.
Thank you.
Subjective.
No, not 100%. That's objective.
That's how objectivity
Ah,
works, of
Because
course.
everyone
It's a very small.
Fine, they're not
sample
data.
size.
When everybody has the same opinion, that makes it objective fact.
Okay,
That's how it
we'll
works.
we'll fix this. We'll fix this. Where's the
Too late.
poll?
Oh, I already
Established.
ended it.
Too late.
Oh,
Why,
okay.
why is Picard the one flying and not Data, who at least has some knowledge of Riemann technology?
Because
When we watch
Patrick
Nemesis
Stewart
10
wants
years
to
from
fly.
now,
Don't worry about it.
we'll have to do another poll and then we can open it up again. But for the foreseeable future, Riker is attractive.
Wow, disruptors. Is that the only time he says disruptors? Usually he says disruptors.
Again, being a Star Trek fan and young enough to remember,
How
old
convenient
enough to
that the
remember,
corridors are just large enough for
I
this
was
ship.
just thinking that.
they were hyping heavily that this movie has an indoor battle scene, like with the spaceship flying around shooting stuff. So, and the writer was like, "Oh, this is the first time we ever get an indoor battle scene."
With a
So,
spaceship?
all right, here's a question. Here's a question, right? The ship just blew through that window, right?
Sure.
If the force field can keep the atmosphere in, why can't it also keep that little fighter in? Like, we've seen force fields, right?
I
that
assume the
you
force
could-
field takes a
that
little bit of time to
have-
kick in.
Are tangible. Yeah, but all right. So your sensors are like, there's a fighter ship flying towards this window. Put the force field now and keep it inside. Keep it trapped.
I assume that's
Prevent it
not
from
not
breaking
something
through in the
that's
first
not a
place.
contingency that's programmed into the computer.
And you know,
Okay.
I don't think they really considered that option.
the soundtrack was really fantastic while you were analyzing the plot there, Robo. You know, like it's a shame we got to watch it on with headphones on and all that. Chat, you're lucky that you get to blast the volume.
You know what? I think I just sent a print job to the printer with
How could you-
insufficient.
You're going up to Earth, but how could you possibly cripple the Federation in 2 days, even by attacking Earth? There's like 40,
Yeah.
50 other
Or
planets in the
at le-
Federation.
there's dozens at least. Yeah, like you said, there might even be 100.
There's dozens of us. Dozens.
No, you're totally right, Soma.
They can destroy Starfleet headquarters,
Most-
but does it matter?
Yeah, and most notably, we have the Vulcans, the Tellarites, and the Andorians, all of which combined probably have about the same general
And-
might as
And
the.
we know something about Starfleet
Romulans.
policy from Chief O'Brien. Sure, they might destroy Starfleet headquarters, but they have a backup. And even if they destroy the backup, they have a second backup.
Well, the Federation is set up, so they can set up a headquarters on literally any planet in the Federation.
Yeah, and
Or they
Beta
could
said
build
too.
a space station and have that be the headquarters.
Which they do.
Yes. Twice.
What if they
actually.
have a cloaked space station?
A cloaked space station.
Oh,
That
What if-
sounds
no, better
pretty
yet,
cool.
you know what?
something
They use metaphasic shields and put the space station at the center of a star.
something a little bit disgusting. Chickens that we eat today, they're called broiler chickens because they're designed to grow in 6 months to be like plump enough to eat. But
Yes.
if they live past that point of 6 months, they're like too fat to walk because they really have unnatural growth, everything going on. So basically,
Yes.
Shinzan's a broiler chicken.
So what you're saying is the humane thing to do is to make sure they get eaten.
Yeah, for sure.
Got it.
Okay. I'll make sure to find and kill some chickens for you.
Increase chicken consumption by 20%, everyone.
Well, I mean, okay, so unironically, if you eat meat, you should probably eat more chicken, because
It takes up a
replacing
fraction of the
beef with
amount
chicken
cattle
and
does.
it uses substantially less resources, substantially less
Like,
greenhouse gases. It's good.
and also the amount of land that you need to raise chickens compared to
Yep.
cattle.
They
That's
demonstrated
because
that
they're
if they
battery
put
farmed, though.
if they put seaweed in bovine diet, that it dramatically reduces their greenhouse gas output.
But that doesn't help with the massive land consumption.
It almost eliminates their
Yeah.
farts.
Okay.
You know
I mean,
something though? I think it's totally worth it because meat tastes so good.
Yeah, I know.
you can have chicken.
My
To be
my
perfectly honest, I
baser
actually
like
really,
monkey
really like corn
instincts like
chicken.
enjoy meat.
And UK has really
Apparently
good
I have an
animal
Amazon
welfare
package on my porch.
policies.
Why are you making B4 so sad? He just wanted to help.
Yeah, this is sad because you straitjacketed a younger version of you, and now you're gonna put him to sleep like a puppy.
He's just a child. What does that mean?
He doesn't even know what indefinitely means.
Forever before you're a dead man.
Well, until Picard.
Well, you're a dead boy because you're a child. You're dead though.
But Picard brings him back.
Yeah.
Honestly, we got a great. I know people disagree. We got a great completion of the data plot and everything through Picard and Nemesis. Picard is completed by Nemesis. Well, Nemesis completed.
Picard is complete. Okay.
No.
Data is
I
completed
know you
by
disagree.
Nemesis.
I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, again, that's subjective.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I
I'm
will
not going
agree
to
that's
detract.
subjective.
If you enjoy Picard, I'm not going to detract from it. I thought it was kind of weird.
I'm
So-
just saying.
On
I
an
love
unrelated
data.
note, I really like that the stars moving in the background because in TNG it was just like a sheet, a black sheet with white dots on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a black sheet with. I think they had like little rhinestones or something.
But now,
reflective.
now we have an actual moving star field. It's beautiful.
Wow.
Yes.
We're at warp.
Well, what the actors
Except
have is just a
technically it's supposed to be
blue
dark
screen or
something.
green screen, and
Yeah. In fact, you can see
Yeah.
some
At least
blue
the sheet
reflecting
the
off the top
actors-
of Riker's gelled hair.
yeah, they didn't quite get the chroma key right.
No, it's just hard working with chroma in general.
They could have used less gel.
So-
That would have. See, look at his hair. It's a little shiny.
Well, the technique I use for chroma keying, I take the image and I increase the saturation, and then I sample the color of the green or blue screen where it's pretty uniform.
Yeah.
I use that as my key color, and then because it's made so vibrant by increasing the saturation, it's really easy to key out.
That makes
Then
sense.
you put another filter to put the saturation back to
Whoa.
normal, and
Why
it
does a
comes
phaser
out
be
really good.
folded like that?
I'm sure these professional filmmakers are familiar with chroma
Well,
key.
they actually decided to put a force field around the warp core for once on this
Also-
ship.
Wow.
We did see Guinan in this movie. Guinan was here, guys.
Yes.
Guinan was in the wedding. I don't know if she had a line. I don't think she said anything, but she was here.
I think she was talking
Who's talking to
to
what?
Georgie a bit.
Yeah, Jordy. When Worf was drunk, she's talking to Jordy. But we're seeing the phaser rifles being handed out like we saw during Insurrection.
Question though, if you have a force field around the warp core and the warp core breaches, does the force field actually do anything?
No.
Would the force field
They
not
tried that
also
several
turn
times
off?
when in Warp Core Breach episodes, and it never works.
No, because like wouldn't the breach immediately disable the force field?
It,
You
Yeah,
contain
in
it
the-
for,
They have
for a
backup
nanosecond
generators.
longer.
There's a Voyager episode
Yeah.
where they're like stuck in a holodeck or a dream sequence or something, and the warp core breaches, and they're like, "Oh, quickly set up a force field around the warp core," and they set it up, and of course nothing happens because it's the holodeck, and they walk out it's like, oh, "If that was a real warp core, that would have destroyed the ship." It's like, then what was the point of the force field?
Right.
Why
It's
bother?
just
get to
it's
the
like
escape pod. Just leave.
remember when they had the atomic bomb drills where the kids would get underneath their desks? That's all it is. It's just makes you feel good about right before your impending doom.
Just eject the core. That doesn't work half the time.
And another thing about destroying Earth is it doesn't even stop the training of new Federation and Starfleet personnel.
What destroying
Because we've
Earth
seen
does
in
do
TNG.
is it ruins
They-
Federation morale.
Yes, definitely.
One thing I realized from this rewatching was that the Romulan senator lady, who he said wasn't a woman, because he spurned her, she comes back to save the Enterprise at the end of the day.
Oh, I need to get a screenshot, but it's too blurry right now. Hang on, let me see if that's less blurry enough that I could make it out still. USS Intrepid, USS Valiant, USS Galaxy, USS... I can't read that. Can't read. USS Archer.
Oh wow.
USS
Nice.
Nova, USS Hood, USS Archer.
Oh wow. Oh, the USS Hood was
And,
Riker's
yeah.
ship before the Potemkin.
You have you have the first ship of the Intrepid class in this fleet.
Yes. NCC 768, or maybe that's a 5. It's really hard to read. I wonder if that's actually correct. Let me look up USS Intrepid.
Also, when Picard says, "For now we see but through a glass darkly," he's quoting the Apostle Paul in one of the epistles or something. But Paul is writing about how heaven will be like. So he says, "We don't really know what heaven will be like, but we see but through a mirror darkly," which is also the name of DS9 mirror episode. But Bible study helps you understand Star Trek too.
So if the fleet is 40 minutes away, why don't they just tell the fleet to start moving to them? Then it's only 20 minutes away.
The force field immediately goes down.
Dang, that ship's way more maneuverable than the Enterprise. The Enterprise has to like list lazily to try to get a good angle. That thing just swoops.
Yeah.
That's got some really good inertial dampers.
Yeah. And brakes.
That wasn't the first shot.
But it's very reminiscent of Star Trek 6 with the ship that's able to fire while cloaked.
1, 2, 3. Okay, they fired pretty soon after they hit. I thought they were going to like cut it back to the bridge and have a dramatic moment, then say fire the torpedoes. No, they fired pretty quick.
Meaning that the Romulans didn't think to like go up or down.
Hey, Picard, do you want to like hail the fleet?
They can't.
They can't. All long range communications are cut off.
I feel like there's an easy way to solve this, because this happens a lot. If they just had like a constant all clear signal transmitted, and then if the signal is distorted or gone, the fleet just
Well,
goes.
the thing is, it would be distorted automatically through the nebula, so it wouldn't help.
Well, if it completely cuts out, like it is now,
It is completely cuts out.
Just go.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
His voice. Why did they make it?
I know how to
this?
solve the
Don't get it.
situation.
It's not done in post. That's
Self-destruct
just
the
Michael
ship.
Dorn. Michael
No,
Dorn's just.
that's not what he sounds like.
He probably
What?
just sounds different because the equipment for filming the movie was different to the ones for the TV show.
When he wants
I
to be a
think
tough guy,
he
Klingon,
would.
he does sound really deep. Like
This is a different tone completely than any other time we've ever heard Michael Dorn. But I think he either it's a combination of them pitch shifting his voice or
So
he
this
put on
is
some weight.
interesting. Shinson has the ability to not only create a holographic image of himself, but he project it into the Enterprise.
yeah, this part makes no sense.
How come
Without
the
the,
visuals are
hollow emitters?
100% perfect, but the audio is distorted?
It's a transporter beam.
Because it's HDMI. But you're right. Where's the hollow emitters inside here to even project the hologram?
Damon Bach had better hologram technology than this.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes, he also did have the ability to project a hologram into.
Yeah, this has happened at least
ship.
twice.
I mean, in season 1, which is not canon, Riker has like holograms of 2 women in his quarters or something.
I
It is
remember
interesting
vaguely
how
what you're
good
talking about. Was
issue
that
is.
Riker?
Yeah, and it was on your show that I learned it because I had never even noticed that before until you pointed it out.
Yeah, you can't track his signal. He's behind 2 proxies. You can't catch him.
Oh, the reason his voice is breaking up is because he's dying, not because there's anything wrong with the signal.
Why aren't they just talking, though? Why doesn't he just kill him?
They're probably using too much of the bandwidth to make his face look good.
Yeah, he has the Facebook filter on to like make you look younger.
Oh, you're right. He is probably using NordVPN for safe and secure hologram transmissions. Romulus isn't part of the Five Eyes program.
The what?
The 5 eyes or 4 eyes or however many eyes, which is
There
a collection of
are
companies
eyes.
collection of companies that have
tell-
agreed to like share information or something.
Five Eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, Australia,
US.
New Zealand, United States, Canada, and UK.
Yeah.
Basically, all the major
English-speaking
English-speaking
countries.
And-
nations.
Yeah.
And Canada.
I mean,
Don't hate on
And New
Canada.
Zealand.
We love Canada.
Of course. What would we do without America's hat?
it's very important to coordinate intelligence.
Oh, sorry, America's toque.
Romulan warbirds.
I like the Romulan warbird design in this movie. It's all right. I mean, it's no
It's a
Daredevil,
very
but
interesting
it's okay.
and nicely designed
has
Romulan
some-
warbirds.
Some definite Daredevil inspiration, like in the middle. They have that open
Mhm.
space still with the LED strip
Yeah.
on the bottom.
But I think it would look better with the bottom part too, between the nacelles.
No, you're right. They sell knives sometimes with the cutout. It looks a little bit like that, like a razor edge.
Assistance.
He- She's only nice because he turned her down.
You know what would
Oh,
also
yeah,
help if the
Hell
Federation
hath no
fleet
fury
showed
like a
up.
woman scorned. Yeah, that too. But the Federation fleet would show up with like Miranda class ships against
Well, it
each
was the
other.
USS Intrepid
Maybe
and the USS
Excelsior.
Galaxy. That's non-trivial.
Maybe if you showed up with, maybe they would show up with some Excelsior class if you're lucky.
Why would the Romulan say she wants Romulan ale? Surely they would just say ale.
Yes.
It's because I want
No,
to
they
make
would
sure
say
that he knows
cauliflower.
what she's talking about.
Something
would-
universal translator, don't worry about it.
Yeah. With,
Enter's Eye here for the best part of the uncontroversial and incredibly popular Star Trek Nemesis.
So I like this
so well
part
put.
because, like, you know, we don't want to be racist against Romulans and say they're all bad. So we have good Romulans in this movie also.
So we can be racist against Romulans because, unlike women, Romulans actually exist. Don't exist. That's the opposite of what I meant to say.
That was easy to remember it pretty well.
That's the exact opposite of what I was trying to say.
Ryan, I think you should mute yourself for a little bit.
I think I should mute myself. That was...
Wow, it's
Man.
a CGI though.
Heard it here first. Women don't exist.
Great
well,
CGI.
consider
All
we
I
have
said-
7
all I
people
said
here, and
was
0% of
Shinzan-
them are women. Therefore...
All I said was Shinzan. Yes. So in this poll, we have discovered that much like how Riker is handsome, women don't exist.
What I was
There was
trying
a
to say
poll.
was, unlike comments about women, I feel comfortable making comments about Romulans because Romulans don't exist, so they can't, you know, they're not a real group that can be
I'm a
offended
Romulan.
or...
Yeah, you don't know, man. Maybe some people identify as Romulan. So I just want to say, all I said was Shinzano is slightly more sympathetic because he's lonely, which wasn't an excuse for what he did, but he was lonely. And
That
you said
doesn't
women don't
make
exist.
it better.
He accidentally said the word "don't" when he added an extra word. It's different.
We know what he meant to say,
Yeah.
but would they take that clip out of context?
But this poor woman, she showed up to have both of her ships destroyed.
She survives. Come on.
Yeah, but
Yeah, she's
Picard
fine.
and she and Picard got a date.
yeah.
She's gonna survive.
See, that's another. What do you mean they have it? Can't they just like hang out?
They have a date to share some Romulan ale. It doesn't have to be a romantic date. It can just be a friendly
You know
date,
very
a
well the
platonic
connotations
date.
of the word date.
How come we don't see
You can have a play
Picard
date
with
or
his
a
Romulan
office
girlfriend
date.
in the new series? Come on, CBS.
Yeah.
No, he just has some Romulan house servants or something for some
I mean,
reason.
maybe he's romantically involved with them. We don't know.
Maybe it's a triad.
Wait, guys, there's a woman. She exists.
You sure about that?
And
It
by
is
the way,
TV. It could just be makeup. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, exactly. There's
know-
also Romulans in this movie.
That's true.
we know
Like,
she's
wasn't
into
it back in the
shit
day, like in old plays, like all the roles were played by men, even the female roles?
Yeah.
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 Well, Troy Strikes Back. By the way, this acting is not appropriate.
I
Oh, hey,
forgot
she has a wedding ring.
like how bad the teenage movies could be sometimes.
She's standing there with her husband nearby, and she's got her hand caressing her ex-boyfriend's hand, and she's
What's
using it
yeah.
to guide a weapon
But
towards her
when-
assailant.
She
shall we
goes
say?
inside his head to find out where their geographic coordinates are. I
Oh,
don't know
that's
where
some
my geographic
TOS lighting on
coordinate-
her eyes. What is that?
That's like the most
Yeah.
impressive thing Troy's ever done with her empathy ever.
Right, but if you go inside my head, you're not going to find my geographic
No,
coordinates.
it's detecting the location, the positional difference between him and her.
Oh.
The missile knows where it is, and it knows this because it knows where it isn't. By subtracting where it isn't from where it is.
So what I don't quite understand is why do these torpedoes suddenly do a massive amount of damage compared to them actually hitting the ship beforehand anyway?
Don't worry
That
about
was
it.
phasers beforehand.
I don't like her delivery of that line because she delivered it as a statement and it should have been a question. She's like, "Remember me, like we're gonna destroy you. Remember me in your last seconds." But I think they meant her to say like, "Remember me, like remember me when you were mind probing me. Now I'm mind probing you."
Yeah. Another weird thing, they were actually putting in the movie material that this film shows a telepathic rape, and they were talking about, again, like this is the first movie to ever show a telepathic rape, and I'm like, that's not really promotional material.
Yeah, you're not exactly breaking new ground there.
Interestingly enough, this the Enterprise E is not having rock slide everywhere and is holding up considerably better than any previous Federation ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Oh, I dropped sauce.
I think there's a direct correlation between durability and the cost it took to build the bridge set in Star Trek.
Possibly.
This
Was that
movie.
Bryan Singer in the movie just a minute
don't know.
ago? Okay.
What you know? Who's not in the movie?
The most racist
I have
against
not seen
Romulans
Tracy.
of all. Oh no!
How is that a surprise
Tracy.
to them?
Why is Tracy not on the Enterprise?
What happened
Where'd
to
she go?
those force fields they had on Star Trek where they could just be like, no one goes in this room ever, and there would
Right.
be boom,
Or
and then
you
you
could
just
even-
starve to death.
you could even section off intruders easily.
Yeah.
What if we
Like, there's
open
that
the
episode
airlock?
where Data just stole the entire Enterprise by himself.
Well,
'cause he
it is
stole
quite
the force
possible. They
field
don't have
afterward.
that amount of power at the moment. Their power is weak.
They don't have enough power to open an airlock, though. Come on.
Well, they can open an airlock, yes, and they can close the
Oh,
bulkheads.
jeez, he went down the
but
garbage
they
chute.
don't have any powerful shields inside.
Where are the Remans going here?
So,
Like they just beamed into a hallway? What are they attacking?
That reminds me of the scene from A New Hope where they dive into the trash compactor.
Yes.
Yeah.
but we've seen Jeffrey's tubes before. They're just grates. What? That's not. They're not
Are there
sliding
Jeffrey's
here.
hallways?
When did the there's a matte painting at the back of the Jeffries tube.
Yes.
When
Yes,
did
there
they
is.
get red dot sights, reflex sights on their phasers?
Just today.
Yeah, when they start,
So
when they
it's-
needed to be more cinematic.
That's from a Nerf gun, by
It's
the
a
way.
holographic sight. Okay.
Why do they? Yeah, why do they have a parallel set of hallways? Like this is the size of the normal hallway.
Because the Enterprise has so much extra room.
Yes.
Even though it's not
They
as
just-
big as the
they
Enterprise D, it still has so much extra space.
They just built an
They
extra
didn't-
set.
This guy's pretty agile
Jonathan
for wearing
Frakes
a
didn't. They
long
couldn't do the
robe.
fight. Jonathan Frakes and Ron Perlman couldn't do the fight scene crouched down in a Jeffries tube. So
In Deep Space Nine, whenever we see people like crawling around in the Jeffries tubes looking for changelings and stuff, it's always really cool.
Okay, I hate this trope though.
why was the force field so slow to react?
Why do they have so much
The same
air on
reason
the
it was slow to
bridge
react on the
that it-
Romulan ship.
Yes, it should have just immediately all air door and no
Yeah.
one falls out.
Yeah.
As soon as you had as soon as you have one molecule of air slip out of the hull, it should activate.
Yes.
So
That kind of monitoring would require an incredible amount of energy.
why is Riker trying to find the
Right,
Romulan by
fucking
looking at the
around
map
shooting
painting? He's not going to be in the
Fusion
painting.
reactors
Need to look at those map paintings.
and an antimatter reactor.
You know, I never noticed it was a map
Chip's
painting until
disabled. I don't know if you
guys.
noticed, but
You guys ruin everything.
Yes,
the first
yes, we
thing
do.
the first thing you turn off is like the
So
purely
if it weren't-
necessary.
If it weren't for us, then Star Trek Nemesis would just be a cinematic icon with no flaws whatsoever.
Sure.
Yeah,
Well, it's
it-
like
Hey,
he's an
Shinzon, do
initiated
you want to maybe
operating
stop being
procedure.
dramatic for 1 minute and just shoot them?
No, he needs Picard alive.
He's not going to get Picard alive because he's going to shoot him. He's going to use the
There's
bloody
gonna be,
failure
like-
on.
There could just be like
Okay.
some Riemann like sniper on the outside and just shoots through the hole.
So if you play basketball against yourself, how do you psych yourself out?
I feel like I could
Oh,
psych
boy.
myself out very easily. I know what my own weaknesses are.
You'd see it coming a mile away, whatever you're trying to pull.
So Deanna gets flack for crashing the Enterprise twice, but remember, the first time Deanna crashes the Enterprise, the ship's already destroyed and it's just falling out of orbit.
Yeah, she did.
yeah, it was explicitly
Yeah.
her fault.
And she saved lives by safely landing on a planet.
She does a pretty good landing there. And two, she's being ordered to crash the ship here. This does not count.
I love how it says that this is literally a text message on
Yes.
the screen, like SMS sent.
Why on your mark? What are you waiting for? Just go.
Good set, go.
What are you bracing for? It's going to take 30 seconds to impact anyway.
And Deanna's at the home.
Man, in the distant future, I can't believe they can't use like they can't label their inputs with words. It has to be strings of numbers. What hell that must be.
It's
Oh,
too
is he
bad.
gonna
It's
move
too
the ship?
bad.
They use 10 key typing in
You
the
think
future.
they're texting using T9? So it's too bad they can't use the warp drive and do like what you call it, Last Jedi style,
And
warp through the ship, hyperspace through the ship.
Hyperspace machine broke.
this special effect was done very well.
Yeah.
That's
The way
pretty
the
good.
saucer tears up. We never see it.
The Enterprise has an advantage here because the Enterprise is pointier.
I feel like this is the exact same sequence that happened in the Battlestar version of this, where they crashed into a colony.
I feel like this is the exact same version of the crash sequence from Generations.
They crashed
It's
into
just
a
metal
colony.
instead of grass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
a
metal
colony
instead of
ship.
trees.
Does the E saucer separate? I think the E has saucer separation.
Yeah, I think it does.
I think all Federation's ships have saucer separation.
They all
That
right.
have a
So
saucer.
they have concept art for it, but they never implemented
No.
it.
But just
so
like the
unless we see
original
it on
Enterprise
screen,
can technically separate,
original-
but we never see it.
yeah.
I mean,
But
the
I don't think
Galaxy
Voyager
Quest
could.
looks like it splits in two. This
They
thing
gave
is
Voyager.
kind of a streamlined shape.
They gave Voyager the nacelles and the landing struts as its gimmick, and the
Aero
shuttle that they
shuttle.
never
Yeah.
used. Yep. That was going
And
to share the
infinite
set with
shuttles.
the runabout.
Yeah, the
infinite
Intrepid lands
shuttles.
on a planet though. It doesn't really need the saucer separate.
That's the landing struts. That's
Yeah.
the gimmick. That's what I was
And
saying.
the,
Like, they gave it.
the bioneural gel packs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It had a
it's-
lot of gimmicks when you think
Actual
about
engines to
Yeah.
reverse instead of
you know,
just standard
what
impulse.
is like
Yeah, that
who
was cute.
designed this thing where it's like, hey guys, Ream and Fleet Yards, you know, they're in their meeting room and
Ryan.
it's like, hey, what if we built these giant rear-facing afterburners that are like completely one of a kind and like no other ship will ever have, and we make it so they fold out, and so if the ship ever gets like stuck on something, it can like go backwards, and they're like, can't the ship go backwards without afterburners, and won't these cost 500 million rebucks? And they're like, yeah, but shush.
All right. In real life, you would want equal amount of thrust in every possible direction. So, but Ryan, I want you to make an edit of Voyager taking off from a planet, and while it's taking off, it's flapping its nacelles like a bird.
Now, if you look at the YouTube video Band of Starships,
Yeah, but
Yes.
that doesn't take off from planets.
it doesn't
The
take off
flapping
from
does
planets.
nothing in space because there isn't any air, obviously.
But if anyone here has
Oh,
not seen
no.
Band of Starships, I highly recommend it. It's a good video.
Wow, that's a really long pit for like the Enterprise at its thickest is like what?
The guy's still alive. Nobody could possibly have survived that fall.
It looks like it's 8 decks tall in each direction based on the windows.
Yeah,
16
so like
decks.
we should be able to see to the bottom of that pit.
Maybe it's
So
just foggy at the
neck
bottom.
on the neck on the Constitution class, I think the neck is as wide as a Nissan Versa. So, you know, it was kind of weird for the neck to have like windows because the rooms would be incredibly small. I mean, there's really only enough room in the neck for turbo shafts
That's
and like
where
support structure.
that's where the red shirts live. They live in like a little ant colony in there.
How is auto destruct offline if like that's actually a really important security thing? Like, what if the ship's about to fall into
The
enemy
auto-struct
hands?
can never really be offline because all you need to do is throw a grenade at the warp core.
Okay.
That's called manual destruct.
True.
You just have to light the fuse that like is
Yeah.
connected to all those explosives that are hidden inside the ship's consoles.
Yeah.
There's just like a giant like piece of chicken wire that goes through the entire ship.
Hey,
connected to
Shinzon, how are you
dynamite.
planning on completing your mission when you cannot cloak?
You're missing half the ship. It's not like Earth knows what's happening. You can go back and repair.
I'd like to
Do it
point out
later.
that control panel had multiple buttons with the same markings on them.
So this Solaron weapon is just a giant scaled up version of the
From the intro, yeah.
tiny one. It's maybe it's even the same prop. They just
Thaleron is
using
the word
force
that you're-
perspective. Thaleron.
Thaleron. Mhm.
Oh, we see people walk around in this thing later in the movie during the climax.
I know. I'm just making a.
That one looks
Sure.
CG, though. They have a physical one. Why does that one look CG?
Maybe they had a physical. Maybe they have a physical one with it closed, and they have a physical one with it open, but they don't actually have one that can open, so they CG it.
Okay,
They
maybe.
reuse
Yeah,
the
that would make sense.
keycaps on those little keypads, suggesting that there are buttons that do the same thing, or there are buttons that do different things but have the same labels.
It's just like the sonar weapon at the end of the Insurrection. This thing takes like 20 minutes to even start up.
Yeah.
So, this one does
There's a
kind of make
bunch of
sense from what is shown in the
Riemann.
film.
There's a bunch of Riemann red shirts like pedaling or cranking to like open up those sleeves.
7
Alright,
minutes
7
for the targeting
minutes.
arms. What if they could just fire a torpedo? Stop being dramatic, Shinzon. Just shoot
Yeah,
him.
don't they have like
He
80
wants to
torpedo
take the
tubes?
Enterprise.
Yeah, and like if the torpedoes
52.
are offline, just like pull one out and throw it at them. Like get Data to just shock
Enterprise
push.
isn't going
Transport
anywhere.
it to the bridge.
Yeah.
Transport
Or, like,
the
You don't even need to transport it. Just
We
put
have-
it in the elevator.
we
Take
have
it to
enough-
the bridge, and
we
then
have enough
just
blood for a
toss it.
complete transfusion. You don't have to be mad anymore.
Also, yeah, the Enterprise, it feels like they could just ram them again.
Yeah, ram them again.
When they were trying to back up, don't let them. Just keep hitting the forward button.
Why are we only sending one guy?
Because he's the captain and he said
It's
so.
something-
But we're sending,
because
we're sending the
transporters are
best
down
guy,
now.
though.
I'm sorry, I don't have the subtitles on. Did they say that maybe like they could
It's-
only do one transport or something?
No, he said he had to do it for himself.
Also,
And then
Picard
Geordi
only has
just
to
said
be-
that transporters are down, so they're broken.
It's also
Picard-
kind of crazy that Data didn't just give Picard the emergency transporter before he transported.
Yeah, there's a lot of plot holes in this movie, okay? It's best not to think about it.
Potholes or plot holes?
Both.
Okay.
There's a lot
But,
of holes here for sure in the Enterprise.
Look,
I want to find what
Wait,
Nerf
wait,
gun that site came off
a,
of.
a beloved character sacrifices his life to save the rest of the crew. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's Wrath of Khan. It's
Oh no, Data's gonna die forever, and
No,
I'll
but-
never see him again.
Well, no, they
Yeah.
were supposed to resurrect him in B4, just like they resurrected Spock in Search for Spock, but they never got the opportunity. I'm just saying, it's like they lifted this beat
Yeah, now
like,
it's a
right
physical
out of
prop.
Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Wow, that's much smaller than I thought it would be.
Look, in a way, all of TNG was about Data's growth and also Picard's role in it.
All of TNG was about Q sitting back and eating Cheetos. He's like, how barbaric are the humans?
I don't like the buttons on the Nemesis handheld phaser. I don't like them. I want rectangular
Well,
buttons.
they don't like
not
you
It's
either.
literally just behind the bridge.
ellipsoid buttons. I'm okay with that, Ryan. A lot of people don't like me. It's fine. I'm used to it.
Well, are you considering buttons people?
Well, they could be people. I don't know. Are they
Buttons
sentient?
exist just like women.
Oh, of course.
Oh God. Hmm.
Yeah, women exist, but you wouldn't know it from this channel.
Wow.
I'm kidding. We have Moon. We
Oh,
have Sabda.
Well, I guess you speak for yourself.
Moon's gone. She was here earlier. I thought.
Yeah.
You ran her off. You told her she didn't exist, Ryan, and she just disappeared. She
She
So
disappeared.
she had to go at
She
some
never
point.
existed in the
time.
first place. What are you talking about?
Every time someone says, I don't believe in women,
It was just a
women, a woman
holodeck
dies.
episode.
It's like it was like what was it like Peter Pan or something with
Yeah,
Tinkerbell?
Yeah, you guys
Like
remember the
that.
ending where they have to start saying, I do believe in fairies to bring them all back? Is that what you have to do? I do believe in women.
Okay.
Ooh.
There are women in the text chat, but I have no way to verify that.
Are there Romulans in the text chat?
Where's NS Michael right now? I'm sure he'd have
Don't
some
stab
feedback.
yourself, Shinzon. You need the blood.
What is with the Voyager phaser rifle? Why did they have such weird phaser rifles? They're
They're
kind of like they were
spookier.
almost like they were like
They have-
TOS phaser rifles.
They have flashlights.
Like, with his dying breath, he wants to kill Picard. It's like kind of intense.
This is the wimpiest fight ever. He's like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And then Picard can just sidestep him and throw him into his doomsday device, and that's the end.
So
This
at
thing
the
has,
beginning of
like-
the movie, I was saying repeatedly that he should just hit Shinzon with a pointed stick, and now we're finally gonna get it.
And by the way, this weapon too. How many levels of unfolding does it have? It's like the mouth from Alien. It's like a mouth within a mouth.
Yeah, and like
So-
at the very end, there's going to just be like a little tiny hand holding a tiny gun.
Imagine
Instead
when
it'll,
you're like
bang.
And then
When did
bang.
Shinzon put on this
Yeah,
mascara?
like a little flag will pop out that says "bang" on it.
Yes, pointed stick. Pointed stick for the win.
Yeah.
Picard is
Imagine
very
when you're
strong.
like 65, 70, and you're fighting your college age self. Like,
25.
I don't see that going well.
Your college age
Shinzon's
self
just
who's
like,
actively dying of a degenerative disease.
Yeah, Shinzon's just like, oh,
Yeah,
man,
but still.
why did I install the full-bound death spears?
This is so right here. This is so intimidating. He's like,
It is hard to watch.
yeah, I'm dead, but I'm gonna get you after all.
It's very
Hey,
hard to
they
watch.
took this show. Wait, which came first? Did this come first or did Lord of the Rings come first? Because this is what Lurtz did.
This came
The
first.
Urukai.
This came first.
Okay.
Hold on. I don't think so.
It doesn't really matter. I'm not seriously accusing them of stealing.
It was
Shinzon is-
2002. Really? Nemesis was 2002?
Yeah.
Star Trek's old, man.
Hand over your nerd card.
Rings. Hold on. I'm look up Lord of the
It was
Rings.
specifically
What
Fellowship
Lord
of
of the
the
Rings
Ring.
was it?
Oh yeah, Lord of the
Fellowship.
Rings was
No,
Before the-
Lord of the Rings was
There were-
first. Yeah.
Fellowship was first. Yeah, I think it. I don't. Or yeah, Return hadn't premiered yet. It was in the middle of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
You know, Data, if you brought 2 of those portable transporter things,
They
you wouldn't have to
say that it's
die.
experimental and they only have one.
They only had one. Yeah, it was
Yeah. Or-
apparently they
don't
give
they
each
show-
starship one experimental
Was
personal
it-
transporter.
Don't they show in the
No,
whole
Geordie has
series?
invented it himself.
When you grab onto someone who's
Something like that.
transporting, you get transported as well.
Yep.
Like-
Yes, if you're holding onto somebody, you get transported as well.
But
So
Data
he
has to
just
stay
shot
behind to
thing
shoot
and
the
pushed
thing.
it together.
Okay.
What about the
Well, he could just-
transporters
hold on.
their runabouts and stuff?
We have seen so many episodes where they set up phasers to fire automatically. Why didn't he just be like, all right, 5-second timer, sets it on that railing and just hits the transport button?
Yeah.
I
He has
think
to be
that it's
sure.
probably a
Data's
matter
done
of the
that
power levels
before.
of the transport thing as well.
I should
It is
do intakes for-
experimental as only for one
Intakes for
transport.
Lord of the Rings. I've done one. It wasn't that great because the Lord of the Rings intakes are not great quality at all. But there's
It's
one.
compared to full movie resolution rather than the lower res original. I'm sure helps.
Thankfully, they backed up their data.
They did.
Yeah.
You know, in First Contact, Picard goes back to save Data in a way, right? Because they were going to blow up the ship. So kind of Data repays the favor here again.
You really don't need to back up your data though. All you need is one synapse or whatever.
Oh,
Not a synapse. A
God.
synapse is a gap. You
Yeah.
need one neuron.
Dumbest.
One
I didn't hate
positronic
Picard as much
You
as
just
neuron.
need one
Yeah, it's like-
MacGuffin.
Idea.
Don't they have
Yeah, that was
Data's
really,
blueprints
really
sitting
bad.
around too, like when they need to like do maintenance and stuff?
Yeah, but for some reason they can't replicate him. They can't, even though they have all the scans
the
and all the
thing.
I thought
blueprints.
it was like
Someone's
is it just
memory
like
They
a-
have the transporter records. They can't somehow recreate data.
No.
We
Data.
had 2 of these. Like we could have easily brought 2. Like it's the size of a quarter. So sad.
Play Despacito. Is that meme still
Yeah,
relevant?
Platus. They should have just transported over one portable transporter and one time bomb.
Wait, her ship was adrift with barely any life support before. Now they're sending them.
Oh, to bring back a
First aid.
conversation from an hour and 10 minutes ago about villains being understandable. Pirates of the Caribbean. I wanted to mention them, and then it didn't happen. How come in Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, they could have just helped the pirates and it would have been good
Yes.
for everybody? Making the pirates immortal and killable would have been good for the British Empire. If the
Yeah.
pirates had just asked for help, they could have gotten it. They didn't have to go and pillage for 30 years.
People don't.
Bye,
People
Data.
don't think that.
I'm going to go in my tiny office. What if there's like a hole was in his office, and like the computer doesn't put a force field in there because no one is in there, and Picard just slowly and solemnly approached his little office door and it opened up, and just got sucked into space, and then it closed again.
The correct term is blown into space.
Out of all the souls.
Unless you watch
I've
that
ever known-
outtake where Data says, "Correction, sir, that sucked out."
His was the most human.
Oh, this is
When-
is this Chateau de Picard
Yes.
wine? He's like
Yes.
they're drinking.
They showed the
He's
label.
like, I'm breaking this out now that Data is finally dead.
People
They
always
should
say that
label.
of all the souls I've ever met, his was the most human. They always quote that as some really sweet and really respectful words, but that would be deeply insulting to Spock.
That would be deeply insulting to
gotta-
every single human.
Well,
You gotta-
it's every single Vulcan.
You
for
gotta
sure.
say it with that
Funniest
like
thing I ever
pitch in it.
saw.
You gotta have
Of
the
all the
pause.
souls I have ever
Data
known.
turned
Human.
himself into a pile of
Human.
dust. Funniest shit
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
Did you just swear on my Star Trek YouTube channel?
Oh, look, and now it's getting this dramatic refit in preparation for the next movie.
The next
Oh
movie.
no! I can't wait for the next movie.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens.
So I believe
with-
is that
these-
McKinley Station?
It's over Earth, yeah.
Oh, there's Italy. Well, no
Wow.
more Italy. It's gone.
I miss Italy. Not really.
So I do like Nemesis. I don't like the bits that take place in Troy's mind because that's deeply
Yeah.
uncomfortable to watch. But most of the movie I like. I really like the Romulan Senate intro. That's fantastic. The
The
ramming speed
soundtrack's
is good.
fantastic. Soundtrack is the best, probably. Like also like the sound production,
I
like in
like the
terms
First
of
Contact soundtrack better than this one.
yeah, it's more
Which
subtle
means
here.
that 7 years from now, Romulus blows up.
Yeah.
Oh, and the deleted scene for the end would have been a so much better ending than what we got, where he has the seatbelts. That was so much better.
Yeah.
Not just because of the seatbelts. It was generally a really good ending. I don't know where they cut it. But the seatbelts were the cherry on top.
Hey, we got the Enterprise E in the
You know-
background.
Yeah. Well, that chair made a resurgence on Enterprise, I believe.
The chair.
The chair came back for Enterprise.
There's
They used
another
it-
vase. Starfleet is just pilfering
Uh,
archaeological
The
stuff.
episode
Yes,
where
they are.
everyone's going nuts and
Which
Trip
episode where everyone's going
keeps
nuts?
changing the. Yeah, I know. Where Trip keeps changing the chair for Archer.
Yeah.
And he's like obsessed with it.
It
Hey, they
starts
finally
with the
had,
cup
uh,
holders.
Flat screens in this movie. Like
And then eventually he's like,
Wow,
it's
look
like,
at
"Oh,
that
two-
Windows
2
XP
millimeters."
era flat screen.
Yeah, early
Yeah.
2000s flat screens too.
yeah.
I mean, it's cool that it's flat. Like it's this one has a flatter screen than the previous terminals, but they don't have any buttons.
But it's a thicker
Well-
thicker screen than like Picard's laptop that flips up from the desk.
right.
So what they did, right? What they did with the old flat screen things is that when you saw them on Edge, it was just a prop, and then when you saw the screen, it was a CRT that they're using. They're cheating the angle so you can't see
Right.
like the back of the CRT.
right. Right.
And here they're just like, well, let's just use an LCD because they exist now, and it's just not a great LCD, but it's a lot easier than dealing with the CRT.
The
'Cause-
deleted scene didn't show a new XO screwing over Worf. What happens in the deleted scene is that he's getting a new first officer, and it's actually played by that Mako from Enterprise, the Mako commander. And
Oh,
he
wow.
walks in and he's talking to Riker and he's like, "Oh, the main thing you should know about being first officer on this ship is Picard really likes to keep things informal, so just call him Jean-Luc."
Yes, I saw that. That's funny.
I mean, it's understandable why Worf did not get first officer because he's Worf.
In fact, I'm going to post that
Well,
deleted
he's
scene in the
technically
YouTube chat.
ambassador to Kronos right now, so
Oh, is he?
what's
So
What's he
we're
doing
gonna
here?
let this mini data walk around like for free
Yep.
now? Like, okay. Does
Does
this
he
look
have
fine.
fine?
citizenship?
no, we're gonna charge him
Can he-
step
can
by
he-
step. We're gonna charge him
can he-
space bucks.
Can he vote? Where's he gonna go? Does he
Yeah.
just stay on the
to
ship
vote.
and
He
like?
doesn't
We've
even
never
know
seen
what's
we've
good
never
for
seen
him.
an election in the Federation.
I believe they.
don't even
I believe
think they have
all goes to
democracy.
the Data
They
Institute
have
at some
democracy.
point.
They
They've
have
all
We
goes
never
to the
saw
Data
an
Institute
election.
at some point, according
They
to
don't have
Picard.
elections.
I think it would have been fantastic to see like a DS9 filler episode where it's like the Federation elections, and everyone gets up in arms over
You know what they do?
what the candidate
since
should
the-
be.
Since the universal translator can read the intent of your mind, they don't have to hold elections. They just poll everybody through their universal translators, and they know what they want.
Of course.
They don't.
All right. So
In the
that's
future,
over.
it's so harmonious. They just have a one-party system.
TNG's over.
100% approval.
TNG's not quite over yet. We're gonna watch the alternate ending and treat that as the real ending because I think it's better.
John Logan wrote Gladiator, as I've said 3 times. Story by John Logan,
Hang
Rick Berman,
on.
and Brett
We're not
Steiner.
done yet. We're not done. I'm posting a link for those who are watching in the voice chat on the watch party. You're good. Don't do anything. For those in YouTube, please click that link. We're going to do another countdown, and we're going to watch the deleted scene as the ending.
Crazy that next time we'll see the USS Titan, it'll be a cartoon and be completely ridiculous.
Everyone be queued up to 0 on the deleted scene. Very important. It's in the YouTube chat.
Brent
And we're-
Spiner wrote the script. I wonder why it was so heavily focused on Data.
Because everybody loves Data.
Mm-hmm. I do, but
Do you have like a stockpile of videos stocked up for the next couple weeks?
I
Ryan?
do. I was going to go over that after this
Oh.
deleted scene.
Oh, so you might have some free time for some games.
How much are you going to be talking about women during the games?
oh.
I don't know if it's appropriate in the context.
Okay, 10
you
seconds.
just-
Everyone be queued up to the deleted scene that I linked in the YouTube chat. And get ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
You
This
click
is the
before you
real
press play.
ending and glorious 70p.
Yellow jumpsuits are back for the technicians. I love it.
Oh wow!
There he is. That's the Mako
It's
Man.
Commander Macduff.
It's not Commander Macduff.
No, that's what happened to him after that episode.
Okay? The most important thing.
He just died in that episode.
Ah, thank you, Riker. That's very helpful.
Anyone who's a professional would know that that's not good advice.
Starfleet isn't made up
I mean,
of professionals.
He's the captain. It's if that's the way he wants to do it.
If that's the way he wants it, that's the way it is. If this deleted scene actually made it in, I wonder if we would have not gotten this guy as the Mako since we would have seen him on screen. But then that never stopped Von Armstrong.
That never stopped Michael Dorn, who was in Star Trek 6 and the
I'm
Next
sorry, what did you just call me?
Yeah, you're fired.
All right, Jordy, guess who's getting a promotion?
And we're not done yet. It's already a better ending, I think. What's
The Mark
Is
7.
this like
What's the kind of
implies
person
that
who just
there's
doesn't
like
like anything new or different? It's a new chair. What?
Someone's
They're
Is
not-
this
yo-yo dying.
is this the
shit.
Wesley? Is this the
Yes.
Wesley Crusher of chairs?
Someone
This
at
is the
the
Wesley
yo-yo
Crusher
dying
of
systems,
McKinley Station.
like ergonomics division was like, this is the future of sitting.
Wait, are you ready?
Massage.
Are you ready? Yes. Finally.
Was that stop motion? How did they even do that?
It was CG, and then they,
When they
switched
cut
in
away,
the
they
actual
change it to a
prop.
physical prop. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then they cut back to the original angle, and it CG's away.
Thank you. You know,
Let's hope it
I was
doesn't go off by accident and like destroy you if you're not sitting correctly.
I was
Right
reading
there.
that.
If you're
shoulder.
like leaning
You're
forward and
leaning
hit
forward.
the button, it like impales
Wait,
you.
hold that thought. We kind of missed the line. Where no one has gotten before. And it cuts out to the music, and we good. The real ending of Nemesis, as far as I'm concerned.
That is a much better ending.
Much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I could take it or leave it.
No, because I was watching the making of Wrath of Khan, And the first screening that they did to like an audience just to test, the fact that everybody left really sad after Spock's death was very tragic because basically we're leaving a funeral. And here in Nemesis 2, we're leaving a funeral. You know, like we lost a beloved character.
Well, life goes
senselessly.
on.
Yeah,
We have a
but here,
spare. We got a backup.
but that's why they recut the end of Search for Spock to be the torpedo landing on Genesis with like the shot cut to there, so that way you end on a somewhat optimistic note. So even if we don't get like a scene about Data coming back, you can at least get a little comedy and then where no one has gone before and the music.
All right, so final points of order you might notice on the info page that we're on right now. It says Saturday is Enterprise and Sunday is Voyager. We're done with TNG. We're done with DS9. They're gone. They're dead forever. Now Enterprise is my best friend.
We have slain them.
At some point, we'll be watching the first few seasons of TNG and DS9, but that's in a couple of years.
You don't speak for the channel. You can watch the first few seasons again.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, Ryan.
So
Ryan, do you have anything? This is a momentous occasion. We're done with the most popular part of Star Trek forever.
The thing I have planned is I'm gonna go take 2 weeks off. So I spent the last week like just getting ahead on everything that I have to do. So I'm just done for the next 2 weeks.
Wait,
next
you said
weekend,
only 1 week.
Next weekend, October 2nd and 3rd, there's no stream. Nothing there. We're taking a week break off the live streams. All the videos are done and uploaded through the next 2 weeks, and then we'll be starting with Enterprise on October 9th. Enterprise on October 9th. But yeah, we got stuff done. Things are queued up. They're ready to go. 5 videos. Nothing will be on the weekends. There's no videos on the
Broken
weekends. It's just
Bow
empty.
is the name of the episode.
Yes. Broken Bow. Not Broken Bow. It's hard to tell, but it's Broken Bow. Broken Bow, what is it, Oklahoma?
West Virginia.
Broken Bow, yeah, Oklahoma. Except there's also Broken Bow, Nebraska.
I never knew that. That's why the episode was called that.
Yeah, because
Ryan, I have a question. Why are we starting Enterprise before Voyager when Voyager was first to air?
Because fight me.
Because Enterprise is first chronologically. That's why.
Well, why didn't we start with Enterprise?
We
We had a poll,
Yeah.
and Ryan.
It wouldn't
likes
have been a
Enterprise better.
smart tactical move to build the channel popularity.
Why do you like
Yeah.
Enterprise more than Voyager when Voyager has?
Because I do like
such,
Enterprise more than Voyager. I love Enterprise.
Such iconic episodes like.
I really like Fairhaven.
Yeah.
Fairhaven's is it Scottish or is it Irish? I think it's Irish.
Irish.
It's the Irish town that everyone
Irish.
hates. For some reason, people hate that episode. I love Fairhaven and Spirit Folk.
Voyager's great because, like, when you watch a lot of the two-parters, it's incredible, and then when you watch the rest of it, it feels like a bootleg of itself.
Season 1 of Voyager.
Voyager has.
I honestly
Go ahead.
hated
Yeah.
season 1, but
Just remember,
like season 3 and onward, I really like it. It's a good show. I enjoy Voyager.
Yeah,
Voyager has,
7 Voyager
Voyager
is
has
totally
high highs and has low lows, and it has
Yeah, I
some
agree with
really
that.
cheesy stuff.
There's
Oh,
one
yeah, but
episode,
would
The Thaw,
say-
the one with the clown. You guys remember the clown?
I think I remember the clown.
The one played by the older brother from Better Call Saul. The fear, it's fear in
Yeah,
person.
Fear
like,
incarnate.
embodied
I
in a
hate
yeah.
that episode. Even though it's genuinely
so
a
creepy.
really good episode. It's a really good, but I hate it because it gives me an existential crisis.
Yes.
I don't want to
I
watch
love
it
the
again.
ending. It's so perfect.
And it's
ending
so
is great.
creepy.
What episode is this?
Yeah, it is
The
really
Thaw.
creepy.
The Thaw.
It's
Whenever
I think it's
the
season
episode
1 or 2. I think
where-
season 2.
Balana and Harry Kim get inserted into like the stasis tubes, and she's in like a shared. Their minds are put into a shared simulation between the other occupants of the tubes.
And it's just
And
this
they discover
horrifying
that the-
circus of torture
Yes,
and
it's
pain,
been taken over by
don't
the
remember
embodiment of the people's fear,
which is a
like
clown.
the fear personified. He's a
I
weird
must have
clown,
skipped
and he's
that
played.
episode out of instinct the last time I watched through Voyager.
You honestly
He's-
should watch it. It's really good, but I never want to rewatch it, even though it's really good.
Whenever
The actor The actor is phenomenal. I can't think of his name, but he plays the older brother in Better Call Saul, and he is brilliant. It's just as a one-shot villain, he's fantastic.
Whenever I see Tim Russ in anything, it always
It's too
comes
bad.
as a surprise because he never gets he never gets top bill. He never gets any billing, and it's always just these like
He's
minor
Tim
roles
Russ.
that are
He's
that are just barely speaking parts, and I'm like, oh hey Timmy. Still
One
haven't
of, one
gotten
of
your
the
big break
intakes
yet.
that I have queued up over the next 2 weeks is Tim Russ. I think it's this week's.
think what would you say? Like 1 out of 70 or 1 out of 80 actors who appear on Star Trek actually have a career beyond Star Trek?
Okay, so
There's
with
an
that,
amazing amount of actors who are in both Star Trek and Star Trek.
All of the clout you got from being on Star Trek Voyager was just accidentally all given to Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, I was gonna say Dwayne Johnson is like the biggest star to ever appear on Star Trek.
okay, so we've now finished TNG, really good. We've now finished DS9, really good, and now we get to go to season 1. Personally, I think season 1 of Enterprise is really good. I think season 1 of Voyager is really bad, but we're gonna make our way through, and we're gonna do it, and we're
You
gonna
want
get
some
to the good
corn on the
stuff.
cob?
Enterprise season
no.
1 is pretty good, yeah.
What?
I
think
liked
corn's pretty
Enterprise.
cool.
I really wanted them to finish the arc properly, and I'd like to see more with the Romulans. They should have stuck it out. It was just
Season
getting
5
us,
would tread on the
getting us
Enterprise.
pace. Oh, that would be cool.
Yo, you know what would have been cool with Voyager? What if they do they do like generation skips, and like once you got to season 7, they like fast forwarded and replaced.
My guys, I've been
all
trying to
the-
outro for like 5 minutes.
I don't know. But you think you can go on vacation, Ryan? Not if I have anything to say
Next
about
week,
just serve a meal.
Nothing. October 9th is the premiere of Enterprise. What's after 9? 10. October 10th is the premiere. Wait, what did I even say? 9th is Enterprise, 10th is Voyager. 9th is Enterprise, 10th is
Yes.
Voyager. We're done here. Stream's over. Go away.